Today from Tropicana Field, it's the end of the road for the Red Sox. Their 11th and final game of the trip with many twists and turns. The Sox are 7-3 and looking for a series win to end it. Even with last night's ugly loss in 11 innings, the Red Sox remain tied with Toronto for first place. The Blue Jays play tonight at home. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Trop. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner, of course, is Jerry Remy. Garen Austin along with us in just a moment. And even with last night's defeat, Jerry, if the Red Sox win this one, they will come home 8-3 on the trip. And given the travel odyssey that this has been, it would be the signature moment of the season.
Well, Dave, you know, when you looked at the schedule back in spring training, you figure if the Red Sox were to contention, this last couple of months is going to be really, really tough for them because of the three big road trips. Well, one is just about finished, and it's been a very good road trip for the Boston Red Sox. We see the numbers so far, 7-3. The team averaged 270 on the road, but we talked how important pitching was going to be toward the end of the season. And look at the starter's ERA, a 2.59 ERA. It's the first road trip with 7+ wins since back in June of 2011. So everybody has really stepped forward on this, the offense, but especially the starting pitching. And, you know, I've been talking about it for a long time. When you get toward the end of the season, you get on the road, you're not going to score as many runs as you do at Fenway. You've got to get good pitching, and the Red Sox have had that.
All right, so it falls to Drew Pomeranz to continue that today. The left-hander, his last couple of times out, has been very, very tough. And Garen Austin will have more on the left-hander when we return as the Red Sox get ready to close out the long road swing here at Tampa Bay. Four-game series and the end of the road trip today. Drew Pomeranz on the mound as we get downstairs to Garen Austin. Garen, lately, he's been getting a lot of fast innings.
That's right, OB. Drew Pomeranz was dominating his last outing. He needed only 51 pitches in 5 innings. That outing was cut short due to the rain, but Pomeranz has been on a roll. In his last 4 starts, he's 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA. Here's pitching coach Carl Willis with more.
Well, he's definitely looking forward to it, and unfortunately, you know, I mean, he did get the win. I think obviously he could have given us another couple of really good innings. He only threw 51 pitches in 5. However, you know, the byproduct of that is we did win the game, and his arm got a little bit of a break there with only throwing the 51 pitches. So hopefully we'll have another strong outing, and I think physically it was good for him to have that abbreviated outing, even though he was very efficient.
He should be very fresh, and nothing erases the bad taste in your mouth after an ugly loss like last night than a strong pitching performance from your starter. Pomeranz on the bump, trying to finish it up strong here today in St. Petersburg, Florida. Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Red Sox and the Rays finishing up the series. Red Sox trying to win the series 3-1. Back inside Tropicana Field, Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Garen Austin with you. Thanks for joining us. Red Sox are ready to head home, believe you me, after 11 games in 4 different cities. We recap the road trip to this point now. The Sox started it out 11 days ago in Cleveland. Pomeranz was on the mound. He pitched game 1 and got the victory. The Sox winning at 3-2. Then it was on to Baltimore for 2 games. David Price got the W in that rain-shortened second game. And the Red Sox would take 2 games from the Baltimore Orioles. Then it was on to Detroit for 4. The Sox splitting the series. Andrew Benintendi with his first big league home run. He also hit his first triple. Big Papi added another notch to his belt. Then on to St. Petersburg to take on the Rays. David Price returning to Tampa Bay to get a W in the first game. Andrew Benintendi made the catch of the season so far in game 2. But last night kind of gloomy. Benintendi in that base running play injured that knee. They're calling it a sprained knee at the moment. The Red Sox would lose in a very close game in extra innings. An ugly play in the 11th inning. The 3rd time this season the Red Sox have lost a game on a walk-off error. Just a horrible way to lose it. So now they have to win today to win the series against lowly Tampa Bay with a record of 53-72. But when this guy pitches, Jake Odorizzi, they're very tough. He's 8-5. Here's the Red Sox lineup brought to you by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. It'll be Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts, and Mookie Betts 1, 2, 3. Hanley Ramirez the DH today. David Ortiz is resting. Jackie Bradley, Chris Young, and Aaron Hill, followed by Travis Shaw and Brian Holiday doing the catching. Up against the Rays starting pitcher presented by GMC. Odorizzi, since the All-Star break, leads the American League with a 1.64 ERA.
The Rays defense is brought to you by DraftKings. They are 13th in the American League with 76 errors on the season. Evan Longoria will be at third base. Matt Duffy, the shortstop. Logan Forsythe in second. And Brad Miller, the first baseman. Left to right, Mikey Matuk, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. And Luke Bailey doing the catching for Odorizzi.
Here are the umpires now. They're brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. It'll be Chris Conroy behind the plate, Paul Nard at first, Ron Culpa at second, Ryan Blakeney at third base. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory-backed Toyota Certified used vehicle right now.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Baseball indoors, game number 4 coming your way. Thanks for joining us here today, Red Sox and the Rays. And trying to get rid of that bad taste in the Red Sox mouths after last night. And the 11th inning error. In a game the Red Sox did have a 3-0 lead at one point. Pedroia to start things off, hitting .306. And the first pitch of the day. In there for strike 1. Pedroia .316 with a home run in his career against Odorizzi. The 0-1. Socked to short and caught by Duffy. 1 man away.
Now Pedroia, every at bat he's had in the first at bat of a ball game, he's hit the ball hard. This ball a rocket, but right at Matt Duffy, the shortstop. Red Sox today will see the fastball, curveball, slider, a lot of changeups from Odorizzi.
Yeah, likes to change the eye level, move it up and down, pitch to all corners of the plate. The changeup is a split change, and he uses it heavy. Popped up on the first pitch, swinging by Bogaerts, who continues to slump. Forsythe will make the play, the second baseman. 2 down. Watching Chili Davis working with Xander several hours ago, way before game time, and they continue to work on different things on a daily basis, but right now he's not coming out of it. Not yet anyway. Average has gone down to .307. Here comes Mookie Betts, .314, 28 homers. He's driven in 90. Drove in his 90th run last night as he went 2 for 4. Hanley Ramirez on deck. No David Ortiz today, although he is available to pinch hit. Day game after a night game for Big Papi, and John Farrell trying to manage him for the stretch run and trying to keep him fresh. The 0-1. Foul tip to the middle.
Well, so far every pitch the Red Sox have seen from Odorizzi has been a fastball. Fastball again.
On the 0-2. He left it up top.
See that not overpowering 90 miles an hour on that last one.
Two down, the base is empty here in the first inning in the 1-2. He got a piece of that. Red Sox 3 times losing on a walk-off error this season. It's kind of staggering because they played pretty good defense. They lost one in Toronto that way. They lost one in Anaheim that way last night. And for John Farrell's team, those are gut punch losses. 1-2 swung on and missed, and the Red Sox go quickly. 1-2-3 here in the first inning at Tampa Bay. They will start it with Logan Forsythe at the top. Then Kiermaier and Longoria. Longoria has 30 home runs. He's had a big year. Brad Miller at first base. Matt Duffy, the shortstop. Dickerson, another home run threat, is their DH. Steven Souza in right field. Mikey Matuk in left field. And Luke Maile is the rookie catcher, batting ninth against Drew Pomeranz. Red Sox starting pitcher presented by New England Audi dealers. He started this road trip on August 15th at Cleveland. Jerry, that feels like about 6 months ago.
Yeah, 2 wins on this road trip. 1 at Cleveland, last time out at Detroit. 5 innings against the Tigers, giving up 1 earned run.
Here's Forsythe, 276, 16 home runs. A couple of times this year he's begun a game with a home run, and he'll take a strike. And leadoff home runs against Toronto and the Yankees. 12 of his 16 have come against righties, so not a lot of damage against lefties. Pomeranz has 1 career victory against Tampa Bay. That came here at Tropicana Field. Bounding ball foul to make it 1-2.
Yeah, back-to-back cut fastballs. A fastball to start off the ball game, then back-to-back cutters. See the breakdown. A lot of curveballs from Pomeranz. That's his out pitch, the breaking ball.
One thing we've noticed his last handful of starts, he's working a little bit quicker and he's getting faster outs. Swing and a miss, and he puts away Forsythe right away with a strikeout.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 6th in the American League with 66 errors on the season. Aaron Hill will be at third base, and Bogart's the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, Travis Shaw at first. Left to right, Chris Young, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. Ryan Holiday doing the catching for Pomeranz.
Kevin Kiermaier now, their outstanding defensive center fielder. Scuffling in the batter's box, though, hitting .226. Although he does have a little 4-game hit streak going. be really interesting to see how the voting turns out for the Gold Glove among center fielders in the American League. If Kiermaier, who won it last year and in fact won the Platinum Glove, is the best overall defender in any position, whether he can hang on to that award, or will Jackie Bradley be able to sneak in there, because Kiermaier has not been healthy all year. He missed about 50 games.
Yeah, he's been on the disabled list quite a bit.
Jackie has those 12 outfield assists to lead the majors among center fielders. Swung on and missed. He puts them away fast as well. 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, once again elevating the fastball with 2 strikes against Kiermaier. Of course, it was his speed last night that really helped cause the end of the game for the Red Sox. When you know you have speed going down the first base line, you tend to rush everything, and certainly Henry was rushed as he was covering first base, never really made the connection with the baseball, and of course the game was over at that point.
They won in 11 innings. Here's Longoria. 287 with 30 homers, 79 runs batted in. It was his home run in the 8th inning off of Rick Porcello that tied the ball game and eventually sent it to extras where the Red Sox would fall. He's had a big season as he looks at a ball. He's on a pace to hit 39 home runs, right there with David Ortiz. Tied for the latest he's homered in a game to tie it or put them ahead as he knocks that one foul. 2-1.
Well, last night the home run right there, a curveball from Porcello, and see Porcello's reaction. He knew it was not a good location for that breaking ball, and Longoria jumped all over it.
Brad Miller on deck, and he won't chase up and away. So 3-1 on Longoria. Signed a big contract extension a few years ago. It's going to keep him here his entire career, assuming he stays healthy and he's not dealt somewhere. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. There's another bullet down the left field line, but foul. He hooked that one wickedly. All sorts of distance on it, but foul.
That fastball inside that time from Pomerantz, and really hooked it hard in foul territory down that left field line.
Nobody on base, 2 down, 3-2.
Back to the cut fastball that time from Pomerantz. Pomerantz basically with the fastball, the cut fastball, and also that very good curveball. That is the swing on the foul ball.
Pomerantz ready to go very quickly, and now delivers the 3-2 pitch, and it's inside. He walked it. So Longoria is aboard with 2 down in front of Brad Miller. This greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Looking at the best team ERAs for starters in the month of August. The Cubs are number 1, way out in front at 1.83, but the Red Sox and the Royals are tied for second on that list at 2.74. Kansas City finally lost yesterday. They lost to the Marlins 3-0. That snaps their 9-game winning streak. They're going to play again today. Then they come to Fenway on Friday. The Kansas City Royals. Miller takes a ball. Royals have changed their season with this run. Still 7.5 games out behind Cleveland in the Central, but very much alive in the wild card race now because of that winning streak.
So far in this game, Pomerantz has been successful with that fastball upstairs, up in the zone.
And his 1-1 on the way with a runner at first base and 2 down. Tried the inside corner, but came up empty at 93. Miller's been a force for them, but not in this series. Just 1 for 11 for Kevin Cash's team. Red Sox have stored his bats, at least for the first 3 games. 2 down and the 2-1. Foul back.
In his career, he is 2 for 5 against Pomerantz, and one of those 2 hits a home run for Miller. A little bit tardy on that last fastball.
Longoria, the base runner, at first with 2 away. No score here in the first inning. Pomeranz with a chance to strike out 3 in the first. Fly ball left center field, charging in. Jackie Bradley coming on. He'll make the catch. Basket style, but he got to it, and 1 man is left. The 1986 Red Sox season, game number 127. Red Sox would lose to Texas 4-1. Bruce Hurst dropped to 8-7. He allowed 3 earned on 11 hits in 7 innings for the Red Sox. We are on to the second inning here in St. Petersburg at the Trop. Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. No score after 1. It'll be Ramirez, Bradley, Young against Odorizzi, who's been one of the best pitchers around since the All-Star break. Hanley, the designated hitter this afternoon, and 2 for 5 lifetime against Odorizzi, so not a whole lot to go on. And a right-hander from Highland, Illinois, with his first pitch of the second inning, and fouled off the catcher right into Maley. That rung his bell.
Yeah, right off that right shin guard. And even though you have some protection on that knee, that still jars it pretty good.
Hanley 277 with the 16 home runs, 1 for 7 in this series. And the 0-1 pitch. And the helmet comes off on the foul ball. Odorizzi has faced the Red Sox twice this season, and both of those times at Fenway. Neither were very good outings. He went 4 in one and he gave up 5 earned. He went 5 and the other gave up 4 earned. Most recent one on July 10th. But he's been a different pitcher since then. That's a bullet, but foul. And he jumped all over it down into the bullpen, but foul. Frozen Fenway returns to Boston in January of 2017. You can enjoy 2 exciting outdoor Hockey East doubleheaders on the 7th of January and the 14th. Tickets go on sale on Thursday, September 1st at noon. Visit redsox.com/Frozen Fenway for more information. He held off that one outside. Odorizzi has won his last 2 games, wins at New York and Texas. He went 6 innings in each start. And they've been scoring runs for him. They've scored him 12 runs and 8 runs in those last 2. The way he's been pitching, he has not needed a lot of help. One-two to Hanley. It is going to be nice to get back home after this long trip. And it's been a fascinating trip in so many ways. The 2-2. Times not a lot of fun because of the sleep deprivation for the players, but getting home should take care of that with 6 games. And of course, Benintendi now on the disabled list. If you missed that news, officially the Red Sox are calling it a sprained knee. Awaiting word on what the MRI today will show. Boy, it didn't look good. 2-2, hard hit to short. Step to his right, Duffy. And gets it. So one away in the Red Sox second.
Yeah, I think Dave will probably get more information about Benintendi when we get back to Boston. You know, he had some work done today, obviously, and taking a peek at it. Those who will be reviewed by the doctors, I'm sure, back in Boston, and we'll get a more definitive word on what the problem is with that knee. But did not look good with him limping off the field last night.
That sure didn't, and not a good base running play. We talked about that, but he looked like he was knocked off balance by the Duffy tag. That caused him to stagger as Bradley takes one down low. He's hitting .272 with 21 homers. Then the first thought was, well, that's an ankle sprain, maybe a badly sprained ankle. Looked like he may have rolled it, but it's actually the knee. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jackie. It put a real damper on this road trip because the kid has played so well. Obviously made a sensational catch the other night. He's fit in beautifully into this clubhouse, and he swung the bat. Up the middle goes JBJ. That'll be a base hit. Forsythe, second baseman, couldn't get to it, and so a single and the first hit of the day for the Red Sox.
Now Jackie Bradley gets the changeup. He had back-to-back changeups to work against, and this one gets by Logan Forsythe. Now Forsythe doesn't die because he knows from that spot there, the way that Bradley can run down the line, he's not going to be able to throw him out. So save a little wear and tear on the body.
So Chris Young is in the outfield today with Benintendi out of the lineup, hitting .278, 6 homers, 16 RBIs, getting the start in left field. And the good news is he is healthy, as he was activated off the DL on Monday. His hamstring finally recovered. That was a long process for Chris, although he told us he knew he did it. He knew when he heard the pop. He had never heard that before. When he injured that hamstring, he knew he had done it. And it was going to be a long while before he returned. Scoreless here in the second with 1 man away. And across for a strike. One of the frustrating parts of last night's defeat for the Red Sox, and there were several, was that they got off to an excellent start, a 2-0 lead on the David Ortiz home run right away. But the Sox were only able to add on 1 more run after that. The offense really stalled outside.
And you got to give some credit to the pitchers of the Tampa Bay Rays. They did a nice job holding down the Red Sox on a night. The way it started, as you mentioned, David, looked like they were going to score a lot of runs. Have an easy one. Was not the case.
No, and there haven't been many of those on this road trip. Sox right now have several guys slumping at the same time. As JBJ gets back in. Aaron Hill on deck. Jackie Bradley is one of those guys trying to get started again. Xander Bogaerts another one. Brock Holt has been cold with the bat. And he's been battling that lat, that oblique. Here's the 2-1. High and tight at 91. He's not afraid to come up and in.
Well, that inside fastball makes his other pitches certainly more effective. His breaking ball, his changeup. That ball just missing the uniform top of Chris Young.
Good count for him. And he puts it in play, but Duffy has it. The second one on to first. Not in time. So Young will be safe, and there will be 2 down.
And Duffy, it's almost like he flipped the changeup to his second baseman Forsythe. He didn't have much on this at all. This should have been a double play. But instead, you can see the flip right there. Not much on it. Forsythe has to come across the bag, and by that time, it's too late to get the out at first base. A little bit more of a firm throw, I think, from Duffy in that situation. You have the double play, and Tampa Bay's out of the inning.
Here's the third baseman, Aaron Hill, 209 with a homer, 5 runs batted in with the Red Sox. He has seen Odorizzi before, and he's 2 for 2 with a home run off him. Travis Shaw is at first base today. And Hanley Ramirez is the designated hitter. Red Sox about to come home to face the Kansas City Royals for 3 games against the defending world champs. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we see Tampa Bay again. Oh, and 2 to count on Hill. And 2 men away, 1 strikeout so far for the right-hander. And he pops that one foul and out of play. It'll be great to see Stephen Wright back on the hill on Friday night as he returns from that shoulder injury. 13-5, an ERA just over 3. The all-star knuckleballer to take on a right-hander, Ian Kennedy. David Price will go on Saturday night. And the hope is Rodriguez on Sunday, as that one is downstairs. And Guerin will have more on that coming up in just a bit. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hill. Red Sox facing a very tough customer today in Odorizzi. 5-0, 164 ERA since the All-Star break. To center field drill. Kiermaier's there though, backing up to grab it, and that retires the side. 1 hit, 1 left, still no score here. Who faces more pressure in a potential walk-off scenario, the pitcher or the batter? Text 1 for the pitcher, text 2 for the hitter. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 message per vote. Jerry, how do you go on this one?
I'd have to say the pitcher faces the most pressure in a walk-off scenario. I mean, he's guy starting it with all of the baseball out there, and what he does with his pitch kind of determines everything else, right?
That and fielding occasionally has happened last night.
Yep.
And that went badly for the Red Sox.
And who was involved in the fielding? The pitcher.
Heath Embry. He dropped that toss at first base. Here's Matt Duffy, who's playing shortstop for them. He was a third baseman coming over from the San Francisco Giants, hitting .264, 4 home runs, 22 driven in. And he's hitting .342 and 38 bats since he joined the Tampa Bay club. Looking at a strike there. And Pomeranz working with a good tempo. The 0-2 is high. Dickerson is on deck, and then Souza.
A lot of times after he goes to that high fastball, he'll come back to his curveball that's down in the zone. Let's see if he does it this time. Back to the curveball.
Up the middle, through for a base hit. So Duffy waited on that one. He got the curveball. Big turn, but he'll go back to first base. And he's got himself a single.
He did a good job. That was not a bad pitch by Pomerantz. It's going to be down in the zone. You can see right there at the bottom of the strike zone, just taken right back up the middle in good direction by Duffy to pick up the base hit.
Corey Dickerson, their designated hitter this afternoon, is next. 228, 17 homers though. This is a club that swings for the fences. They're kind of like Baltimore light.
Yeah, 4th in the American League in home runs.
Dickerson hitting .310 in his last 9 games after an 0 for 17, so he runs hot and cold. And takes a ball. Brian Holiday doing catching today at Pomerantz. I'm talking to some scouts who have been covering this series, who have seen Christian Vasquez playing at the minor league level recently. They have been raving about him, and particularly how well he's swinging the bat. Cross for a called strike. You know the defense is going to be there. Vasquez has been swinging it as well. That's at the minor league level. Duffy off first base, nobody out. Pomerantz looking for a twin killing. Weave and a miss to make it 1-2.
Spot on location that time with the fastball, keeping it away from the left-handed hitter Dickerson. Very tough to make contact on a pitch like this.
Souza, the next man in. He's on deck. Big right-hand hitter with power. And Pomerantz fires. Cut on and missed, and down he goes. Strike 3. Made another good pitch.
Yeah, pretty consistent too. Everything away from Dickerson and that at bat, lefty against lefty. Now one pitch from the middle of the plate in, everything to the outside part of the plate.
Well, his last 6 starts, he's had only one truly rough outing. That was the game in Anaheim, and he gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3. But the hit totals are way down. He's not walking people, staying away from ball 4. Very important for Drew Pomerantz. Did walk Longoria in the first inning today, and now with 1 away, he gets Souza at 240 with 13 homers. Nothing in 1.
You see the catch of Holiday. He'll take a look back in the dugout to see what they want to call. And basically, like I said, they're not calling the pitches. They're calling whether they want Pomerantz to throw to first base or pitch out. Calling for a fastball.
Duffy leads at first base, and the 0-1. Fouled out of play to the right. So the count 0-2. Hey, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons. Man, we work these guys. They'll break down the game, and you'll also hear from Pomerantz and from John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? And the 0-2 on the way to Souza, who strikes out a lot, 137 times, and throw back to first. He swings hard, he can run into one. The lefty deals and strikes him out. Swing and a miss, strike 3, back-to-back Ks, and he has struck out 4 men.
Now the difference between that curveball that Duffy hit was over the middle. This curveball is going to be in the outside part of the plate down, and that time he gets no contact from Souza. Souza has now struck out 134 times on the season.
So it brings up Mikey Matuk, who has gone hitless in his last 32 at-bats, hitting 132. pops a foul. That one toward their dugout. Shaw over to give it a look, but off into the stands. And what will surely be the lowest attended game of this series. Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, most of the people sitting on the third base side, the Red Sox side.
Runner at first base, 2 down. And he snaps in a breaking ball right there for a strike. 0-2. So far, 2 base runners against the southpaw. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. So you get to that 0 for 32 where Matuk is right now. You're probably feeling like you are never going to get a hit.
Oh, you're exactly right. You get to 0 for 10, 0 for 15, you feel like you're never going to get a hit. I can't imagine being 0 for 32.
Well, they got the leadoff man on with a single. 2 strikeouts since then and a 1-2. And buried that one, a fastball right down the middle. And he struck out 3 in a row, and Pomerantz has punched out 5. Tournament debuts tonight at 7. It's one of the top-rated horse jumping shows in the country. The Silver Oak Jumper Tournament happens every summer in Halifax, Massachusetts. Catch all the highlights tonight at 7 right here on NESN. Red Sox nothing, Tampa Bay nothing as we move on to the top half of the 3rd inning. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin. And the Red Sox will bring up Shaw, Holliday, and Pedroia. Pedroia for the 2nd time against the right-handed starter, who typically has problems early in games. He has a 5.37 ERA the first 2 innings, 2.70 after that. See if the Red Sox have missed a chance. But he's been sharp early on. Shaw 248 with the 14 home runs. It has been a very quiet trip for Travis. Just 3 hits and 20 at bats. Jerry, what are you seeing with his swing?
It looks to me like the front shoulder's pulling off a little bit. The back shoulder's dipping some. You know, I don't think the balance is really good for him right now. Part-time playing also doesn't help.
He's been in and out of the lineup. The 0-2 coming. And down he goes. Odorizzi makes very quick work of him and fans him. The right-hander's 2nd strikeout.
Now watch his head on this swing, and it seems like it's leaving a little bit early prior to contact. There was no contact there, obviously, but you can see the swing, and the head just comes popping up. And you'll see a lot of times when guys are swinging the bat well, they have their head right at contact.
1 gone in the 3rd. Here's Holliday, 221 with a couple of home runs on the year. First pitch swing, he pops that one up back over the top of the net and out of play. Red Sox are tied with Toronto for first place. Baltimore is only 1 game back. And I think there were people getting ready to write off the Orioles about 5 or 6 days ago, especially when Tillman had the shoulder problem. But they've won 3 in a row, and they pulled within 1 game of the lead. The 0-1. He bunts toward third. He got it down. Longoria fields, throws, and he gets him at first base. Now they're trying to surprise them, but Longoria has always been very tough on a bunt.
Yeah, not a little bit too hard, too. It doesn't slow up much on the artificial surface, and because of that, you're going to see Longoria come in and field it with the glove hand, transfer to the throwing hand, and get the out at first base. When you're bunting on the artificial surface, you almost have to make it one of the best bunts that you got, as much as you can deaden it. That ball was just rolling too hard, and no problem getting Holiday at first base.
2 up, 2 down. Pedroia now. He lined out hard to the shortstop to start the day as he looks at a strike. And the Red Sox lost last night. He had a good night. 2 for 4. He stole 2 bases. He scored 2 runs. And he has really liked that leadoff spot in terms of the results. There's another hit. Out of the leadoff spot, hitting .373 coming into today. He's hit it hard twice.
Yeah, first time line drive to the shortstop. This time he gets a breaking ball, gets it on the ground between third and short for the base hit. We've seen him spray the ball all over the ballpark in this series, using the opposite field quite a bit. This time pulling the ball. That top spin ground ball, it has a tendency to hit and very quickly gets through the infield.
He's had good numbers against Odorizzi in his career, hitting about .325 against him now. Here comes Xander Bogaerts. He popped up very early in the count in the first inning. He went 0 for 5 last night. As you look at Pedroia's stolen base numbers, he added to those last night. Xander looks at a strike.
Yeah, you can't do it here, but I always felt like with a guy like Xander Bogaerts, when he's struggling, to put a lot of hit and run plays on. I really believe in that because it just makes you concentrate on getting the ball on the ground or on the line a little bit more than you normally would. Of course, you don't do it with 2 outs in the inning.
This is a pitcher he has liked to face as he loops that to right field. Souza near the line will snatch that. Through a tie of the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Still a 0-0 game. By Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Bank of America, life's better when we're connected. And by the 2017 Kia Sportage, visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. Let's get on to Garrett Austin.
Thanks, Opie. I talked to Stephen Wright, and he said his shoulder is not 100%, but he's confident he's ready to make that start tomorrow. Wright said that he's been trying to get on the mound as much as possible to repeat his delivery because he's missed so much time. He said it feels really nice preparing to make that start because being on the DL is the worst, but the training staff has done a really nice job of keeping him sane. And guys, I also talked to Eduardo Rodriguez, and he said he felt good coming out of his bullpen today. He said no pain or tightness in his hamstring, and he feels good enough to make that start on Sunday if that's what they decide they need him to do.
All right, Garrett, thank you very much for the update. There's a line shot and a base hit to left field by Maley. The rookie catcher is quickly on, and that is the second hit today for Tampa Bay against Pomeranz. This one leads off the bottom half of the third inning in a scoreless game.
Yeah, first time Maley has ever faced Pomeranz in his career. Picks up the base hit on an off-speed pitch. Odd line drive that bounces in front of Chris Young.
Yeah, watching Stephen Wright not pitching over these last couple of weeks or so since that shoulder injury, he's looked a little bit lost. He's trying to find things to do. Got to get it back on the mound where he belongs. That is in there for a strike on Forsythe.
That's like, you know, they were saying the toughest thing is being on the disabled list. There's nothing you can do to help the ball club. Every day you come in, people, how you feeling today? How you doing today? And, you know, that gets tiring. You go through your rehab work and try to get back there as soon as possible.
0-1 waved at and missed. 78 miles an hour with that curveball, and he got him off stride.
So far, Forsythe has had trouble with the curveball. He struck him out on a curve back in the first inning.
Forsythe had missed 4 consecutive games before this series because of back spasms. He's been hitting a lot of home runs out of that leadoff spot. The 0-2. And a big bender up high. That just missed. Tampa Bay was actually playing pretty darn well coming into this series. They had won 6 out of 7. Red Sox took games 1 and 2 and lost a heartbreaker last night. That's one that got away. The 1-2. Down low, they're going to send a runner. Up with it is Holiday. Not a great throw, and it comes out of the glove. And Pedroia and the hand and glove made contact on the slide by Maley. Looked like he was a little shaken up.
Yeah, it's a good play by Maley because, you know, you practice as you see the ball in the dirt. He gets a good read of how far it is out in front of Leone, and he has, Holiday, and he has no problem making second base. Pedroia slapping the tag out. Looks like he might have jammed his wrist a little bit as the ball came popping out. That is me. The ball comes out, and then Pedroia looks like he was holding that right wrist a little bit.
He's still flexing it some. So a wild pitch. They have a runner at second base and nobody out in a 0-0 game. And here comes the 2-2. Slap to right field. Betts is there. The runner back to second. One away. Kiermaier on the way up next.
I give credit there to Forsythe. I mean, he had a man at second base, and he tried to move the ball the opposite way against the curveball, but not deep enough. Mookie Betts had that ball in a good position, and if they tried to tag at second, they would have had him at third base. But that's a pretty good job moving the ball, trying to do your job to the opposite field, just not deep enough. And after what they saw the other night, they're not going to challenge the arm of Mookie Betts.
No, sir. Not after that throw. The man up at the plate right now, Kiermaier, is the guy that he cut down at third with a Dewey Evans kind of a throw. Although Kiermaier said after the game, I would do it again. It took a perfect throw. He said, I went back and I looked at the video. Mookie Betts unleashed a perfect throw. Mookie told reporters afterwards that he knew that Kiermaier was going to try for third. And the way he approached it down that line was kind of take his time. He knew he was going. He wanted to line up a perfect throw. That's exactly what he did. Big swing and a miss to make it 1-1.
Now you see Mookie Betts, first of all, surround the baseball and get himself in a good position to make the throw. Watch how he comes in around the baseball, picks it up, and then lines himself up with his shoulder to third base. That's the key. Didn't open up. Pointing right towards the direction he wanted to throw it and got it there.
The 1-1. Hammer to first base. Friendly bounce there for Shaw. He'll take it to the bag for the out. Down to third goes Maley with 2 down. I thought you had a great point too about watching him before the game, practicing throws like that.
Yeah.
How many times did we see Shane Victorino before the game practicing and then in the game executing a great throw?
You know, you guys, in my opinion, don't throw enough today. You know, there's no infield practice that they take. That is kind of going by the boards. And, you know, you really have to go out there and throw on your own to keep your arm strong, to try to increase your arm strength and your accuracy. You just can't go out there in a ball game and expect to let it loose and have good results.
Longoria now 2 down and a man at third. DraftKings is the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of the Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing on DraftKings now. You can play free daily using the promo code NESSN at DraftKings.com.
Of course, nobody was throwing prior to the game today. There was no batting practice for either ball club after the late night last night.
I mean, there was nothing going on. You could have heard a pin drop out here in the hours before the game. Fly to the right center. He puts something into that. Bradley back. He's at the track and over the shoulder to make the catch. Oh, so casually. And still a 0-0 game. Ridge Park Casino, TC Jim Rice, Steve Lyons will recap this Red Sox road trip. What a trip it's been. And new members play up to $500 on U.S. only at Plain Ridge Park Casino. Red Sox nothing, Tampa Bay nothing as we move on to the 4th inning, and Mookie Betts trying to change that against Jake Odorizzi. Betts a strikeout victim in the 1st inning, and then it'll be Hanley Ramirez and Jackie Bradley. Each side with 2 hits. And a count 2-0 on Betts.
So far, all Mookie's seen is fastballs in his 2 at-bats from Odorizzi.
He is 5 for 16 against this righty. Into left center field, Kiermaier into the gap. He likes that little leap at the end, a little style to put it away.
Yeah, he almost misread that. He started to come in a couple of steps, but he's so quick. He makes such quick adjustments that he was able to go back and make the play against Mookie Betts.
Standout outfielder, Gold Glover. He has made some great plays the last couple of years. He's robbed some home runs. Hanley Ramirez 0 for 1 with a ground ball to short. So far 1 for 8 in the series. High fly ball, a towering fly, but foul down the line. He majestic blast, but quite foul. It's at 16 home runs. And a Sox fan comes away with it.
And David Ortiz fan, number 34 on the back of the holder of that souvenir.
But David hit one in the other direction for a 2-run shot first inning last night for his 30th home run, and he's now driven in 100 again. But out of the lineup today. Hanley is hitting .378 with 15 RBIs in his last 10 games. Trying to start the Red Sox offense here this afternoon. A little late on that one. A 92-mile-an-hour Swifty, and it counts 1-2.
Now that fastball seems sneaky quick. I mean, it's only registering 90, 91, 92, but it seems a little bit harder than that. That ball was by Ramirez at 92 miles an hour.
He has 2 strikeouts today and a pop-up foul. That'll make the seats. Jackie Bradley on deck. Red Sox season ticket holders, you can experience the best seats, price, and benefits Fenway has to offer, including potential postseason opportunities. For information, go to redsox.com/season tickets or call 877 Red Sox 9 today. A ball and 2 strikes on Ramirez, today's designated hitter. He lunges, ground ball fair, picked up by Longoria, and he'll get him. 2 down. Jackie Bradley in next. Around baseball, the Cleveland Indians have a 5.5 game lead over the Detroit Tigers in the Central. They have 1 more win than the Red Sox do. They have 72 wins. Texas leading Seattle by 6.5. And the only other race aside from the AL East that is close right now is the National League West. The Dodgers have a 3-game lead on San Francisco. In the American League East, there are 3 teams separated by 1 game coming into play today. Red Sox, Toronto, and Baltimore. The wild card races are closer, but not the division races except for a couple. Jackie 1 for 1 with a base hit. 2-1. There it is, Toronto playing later on tonight. They'll play in Canada. 2-1 pitches up top for ball 3. They lost yesterday as well to the Angels, while the Red Sox were falling here in 11. Two down, bases empty, the 3-1. And he pops him up. Sky high to the left side into shallow left. Longoria wants it. And that'll do it. A quiet inning. Red Sox go 1-2-3 in the 4th. 9th and 30th for coverage of the WEEI Ness and Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, presented by the Arbella Insurance Foundation. Arbella Insurance Foundation here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. Pomeranz starting off Miller with a curveball to begin the bottom of the 4th inning in a 0-0 game. And so far for both offenses, a sleepy effort. Miller's gone 0 for 1. He has flied to center field, former Seattle Mariner that they got in a trade in November. And he's responded with 25 homers. Pomeranz with a 2-1 coming. And he finds the mark for a called strike right there at the hollow of the knee, as they say.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a gift that time for Pomeranz, but he'll certainly take it.
Chris Conroy has the plate. And a 2-2. On the outside corner. He pinned it there for strike 3.
Those are 2 nasty pitches that he made on Miller that time. Unhittable. One was middle down, this one away and down, and this one you don't even want to think about swinging at.
He's made several pitches like this, 6 strikeouts already. His season high, and he did it twice as a member of the Padres, is 10. With the Red Sox, it's 7. Here's Duffy. He singled first trip. And he golfs that one to left center field. On the move, Young still running on the track, turning around now, and it's off the wall. And Duffy is into second base. He has his second hit. That's a 1-out double in the 4th inning.
Now, both hits for Duffy today have come on curveballs, too. It was a curveball back in the 2nd inning. He picked up a base hit. Now a curveball on the first pitch where he picks up the double. Like maybe it had a chance to get out of the ballpark when it left the bat, but falls short, falls to the wall. But a runner in scoring position at second base and the 1 out. Right at the bottom of the wall. No chance at all for Young to make a play on that.
That is their 3rd hit today against Pomeranz. Will now square off against Corey Dickerson. Drew struck him out in the 2nd inning. And one of his 6 Ks in the book. But now a runner in scoring position with 1 away. And ball 1. Dickerson knocking around in the 220s, but with 17 home runs, and every one of the 17 have come against a right-handed pitcher. He's not homered against a lefty in about 2 years. Not for lack of trying on a swing like that.
He's going for the downs. He got the fastball too, right down the middle, but no contact. The foul tip into the glove of Holiday.
No other player in the majors has as many home runs with none against left-handers. But they have a lot of grip and rip guys in this lineup. No score, but a man at second, and a 1-1. High fly into center field. Jackie Bradley has all day to get underneath it. And that'll be the 2nd out. So Dickerson 0 for 2. Fans, it is time to vote for the Globies, Boston's biggest sports badge. The Boston Globe sports writers have nominated many of your favorite athletes and sports moments in a lot of categories. You can cast your vote right now at theglobies.com. The Globies are presented by Mercedes-Benz. So 2 down. And Souza, the batter, one of the strikeout victims today for Pomeranz. Last 4 starts, a 2.25 earned run average. So beginning to settle in after the trade from the Padres. And trying to get through this inning without a run. Red Sox have due up in the 5th inning. Young, Hill, and Shaw. And the first one on the way to Souza. That is something he does frequently. A lot of big cuts. As mentioned, 138 strikeouts now.
And we'll chase that high pitch.
Man at second, 2 away. Well, the curveball today has been really sharp. He's been finding it, I mean, really since the very first inning, to be his #1 weapon.
Reminds me of the last start he had against the Tigers, where he had a very good curveball early in that game.
Although the Red Sox have done this to Souza all season, he is 4 for 35 against Boston. They put his bats away to this point. The 0-2 just got a piece of it. Souza began the season pretty hot with a home run, 10 home runs, his first 180 at bats or so. He has only 3 in the last 180 at bats. And Pomeranz looking to fan him for the second time today. Here comes the 0-2. Foul back again.
Trying to elevate that fastball again and see pitch number 4 right at the top of the strike zone, and they do get Souza to chase, but he's able to foul it off. Upstairs by design. You can see the catcher, Holiday, come out of his crouch position, gets up a little bit higher just to give that high target to Pomeranz.
Drew takes a sign again, looks back at the runner Duffy, and the 0-2. He's getting a steady diet here, breaking balls, and he knocks that one foul. Red Sox 7-3 on this 11-game road trip. The last time they had 7 or more wins on a single trip was way back in 2011. When they went 8-1 between New York, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. 0-2, and time is granted very late by the home plate ump Conroy.
Waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally asks for the timeout and gets it.
John Farrell upset about that. He thought it was way too late to be granting that. Pitcher set to deliver. And Conroy granted it to Souza. Now the 0-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Red Sox offense is going to have to get it done today without David Ortiz, without Sandy Leon, obviously without Andrew Benintendi, who had become a big piece. He had become one of the guys really swinging a consistent bat when others were faltering. The 1-2. That evens it up.
Front shoulder flying open a little bit. The last 2 fastballs taken off up and away from the right-handed hitter.
Well, the inning began with a strikeout of Miller, then the double by Duffy. Dickerson flied out harmlessly to center. But now the 2-2 to Souza with 2 down. Check swing. Did he go? Pitch down in the dirt. He did. They appeal to first base umpire Paul Narton. He said it is strike 3 that he committed. Second time Souza has fanned, and Pomeranz gets out of the inning. He hangs out with the actor Kevin Chapman. And the two of them playing a charity softball event right at Fenway Park. Catch it Friday night at 11:30 right here on NESN. Scoreless game as we go to the top half of the fifth inning. Red Sox trying to go 8-3 on this road trip. It would certainly be a disappointment to wind up splitting this series with Tampa Bay, last place team in the division, but Odorizzi has other ideas. He's 8-5 on a team in the basement. So he has been a quality pitcher. Sox have been held to 2 hits by the righty. Tampa Bay has only 3 against Pomeranz. Chris Young will start it, his second look at him here in the fifth inning. And in there for strike one. Young has seen Odorizzi on 10 occasions. He has 3 hits, one of those a home run. And it's 0-2.
They really expect Young to pull the ball. They get 3 guys on the left side of the infield. The outfield is shading him toward left. They've actually moved over a step to their left because there's 2 strikes on Young now, but still a pull situation.
0-2 coming. And he got him. He made quick work of him. 93 miles an hour with that fastball to fan him.
Oh, seeing some very nice pitching in this ball game this afternoon. Odorizzi doing a very good job elevating that fastball to pick up the strikeout. Pomeranz has been very good.
Pomeranz has 7 Ks. Odorizzi now at 3. Here's Aaron Hill, 0 for 1 with a fly to center. One of the things that we have not seen that's in the scouting report on Odorizzi, he typically throws a heavy number of pitches per inning, about 18 per inning. That's the highest rate in the American League among qualifiers, but these have been pretty fast outs so far today. Travis Shaw on deck. And the 26-year-old with an 0-1. And he popped it up back our way, but foul. So quickly 0-2, and he's had a lot of counts where he gets in front today. You wonder if a guy like Chris Archer is watching Odorizzi very closely and seeing how he gets his outs. That one is fouled out of play. Watching Archer the other day, even though he pitched well, I think one of the things that irritates Tampa Bay about him is that he feels like he has to strike everybody out. He never pitches to contact. Odorizzi does. And he's had a superior year. Obviously, talk about the number of losses that Archer has accumulated. He's had a horrible season. The 0-2 and foul back.
I think that one thing that would help
Archer
would be to pick up his pace a little bit. He is one of the slowest workers in all of baseball.
Yes.
And I don't think it does him any favors. I really don't.
I never thought it did anybody any favors, least of all the viewer and the folks in the stands who have to watch it.
And the players that have to play behind him.
I mean, it just gets so laborious when a guy is 28, 29 seconds. Pitchers have told me, well, I'm messing with the hitter's timing. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, how about doing that a little quicker? Deliver the pitch. Is that one will miss down low?
I think messing with the hitter's timing is when you work quickly because you don't have time to think about what the possibilities are in this at bat.
Thank you. Yeah, he's tough to watch, and he has great stuff. That's the sad part. I mean, throws 96 miles an hour with a deadly slider, one of the best sliders in baseball. He'll staying alive. 1 man out, bases empty, no score in this one. But it just drives people crazy. You're paying good money to sit there in the stands. I mean, really good money, and watch a guy take half a minute between pitches. Drives you crazy. That's one of the things that slows down the game. The 2-2 coming. That one drilled toward the alley on the move, Kiermaier, but he's going to get there again with that little jump at the end. a flare, and there are 2 down in front of Travis Shaw. Fans, don't miss NESN Live today following our Red Sox coverage. Jerry will break it all down and will also preview the Pats' next preseason game against the Panthers. NESN Live presented by Cross Insurance.
Do I get to do that part too, the Pats and Panthers?
I think if you ask, you can.
I could break that down too?
I know you could, by the way. Pats fan that you are. And you were dying to get the season going. Line shot and right to Forsythe. 1 pitch, 1 line drive out. 1, 2, 3 go to Red Sox in the 5th. Batter, and 85% of you think it is indeed the pitcher. Seemed to be the case last night as the Red Sox gave away an opportunity when Heath Hembree fumbled that toss by Shaw at first base, and the game ended on an error. It's the 3rd time this year the Red Sox have lost on a walk-off error. So you look at those standings today, the Red Sox tied with Toronto, and you wonder where they would be if not for some of these late inning mistakes.
Well, last night you had a lot of speed in Kiermaier going down the line. You know you had the rush to play. Hembree never really had it in his glove. And plus the throw at home, and Leone never really had it in his glove. That's a tough ending to a hard-fought ball game. Extra inning game.
Red Sox 7-3 on the trip despite that defeat. Mott took here. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Every time he comes up to bat, it must feel like it is 0-2, and it usually is when you're 0 for 33. High pop into left field, playable. Young back, and right there near the edge of the warning track and on the track for the out. So 1 away. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets with the best seats at the lowest prices. Ace Ticket has the biggest selection from bleachers to boxes. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. So Pomeranz gets his first man here in the bottom of the 5th inning in a scoreless game. Here's the rookie catcher Luke Maile, who is 1 for 1 with a base hit. He advanced to second on a wild pitch in the 3rd inning, but they could not bring him in.
Only 5 hits in the ball game. 3 for Tampa Bay, 2 for the Red Sox.
Maile comes out of a very athletic family. His grandfather Dick was an All-American basketball star at LSU. Maile played his college ball at Kentucky. 1-2 to count. He was once drafted by the Red Sox in 2009 in the 43rd round, but he elected not to sign. 1-2 downstairs and deflected by Holiday. Logan Forsythe on deck for the Tampa Bay Rays in a 0-0 contest. Two swung on and missed, and he retires him on strikes. Here's number 8 for Pomerantz.
Pomerantz really has that curveball working for him in a very, very nice way here this afternoon. This one down and in off the plate. Majority of his strikeouts this afternoon coming on the curveball.
He has 2 down in the 5th inning. When we go to the 6th inning, it's Holiday, Pedroia, Bogarts for the Red Sox against Odorizzi. This one turning into a pitcher's duel. And who will crack first today? As he went with a fastball but missed away. Forsythe with a strikeout and a flyout. And looks at another ball. The 2-0. Tried inside and he missed to go to 3-0. He's walked only 1 man today. That was Longoria back in the 1st inning. Right through there for a strike. Forsythe taking all the way. So far he is just 2 for 13 in this series. And the 3-1. Chopper foul.
Seen a few more cut fastballs also from Pomerantz in this start than we have in the last couple of starts that he's made. Last pitch was a cut fastball darting inside to Maile.
Here's his payoff pitch with 2 down. And he got him. Boy, that curveball has been dynamite today. 9 strikeouts through 5 innings for Drew Pomerantz. Off season with a brand new episode of Bruins Summer Face-Off Live. That's tonight at 5:30. We move on to the 6th inning in a scoreless pitchers duel. Odorizzi against Pomerantz, and they have both been exceptional to this point. Pomerantz has registered 9 strikeouts. That is 1 shy of his season high. High pop up, poke down the right field line. Souza charging on it, can't get it. It's going to drop down for a base hit, and Holiday is on with a little flare. Souza, not the fastest guy in the world, and never got anywhere near it.
Trying to take base hits any way you can get him in this kind of a ball game. Very tough. That ball's outside. Looked like a slider to the outside part of the plate, off the outside edge, and just drops it in front of Souza. Souza hoping he would go to second base, but Holiday having none of it.
You can tell initially he expected that one to be caught.
Yeah, or go foul, one of the two.
So here's Pedroia, 1 for 2, a single. He's also lined out hard to the shortstop. He's hit it twice really hard today. So he's one of the few guys getting a pretty good look at Odorizzi. Well, last 15 games he's hitting .381, so he is seeing a lot of people well. Nothing, only 3 hits apiece. And the 0-1. Another one hard hit into left field for a single. Holiday pulls up at second. That's the 3rd time today that Pedroia's hit it right on the button.
Yeah, that time it was a bad changeup, a changeup that stayed upstairs in the strike zone, and Pedroia able to hook it very hard into left field. Off-speed pitch at 84 miles an hour up around the letters, and that's one that Pedroia will always hit hard. So the Red Sox with a golden opportunity here. A couple of men on, nobody out.
And what a spot this would be for Xander Bogaerts to break out of his skid. He is 0 for 2 with a pop up to second and a fly to right field. A couple of easy outs so far. But he came into the ball game a .389 hitter against Odorizzi. 7 out of 18. Nobody out, 2 on, and ball 1. Red Sox in business here, trying to do something in the 6th inning. Back-to-back hits for the first time today. Here's the 1-0. 2-0. Been rare to see Odorizzi fall behind today, but he has here.
Yeah, one of the jobs too is if you're the runner at first base, Pedroia, you try to get as big a lead as possible on a ground ball so you can break up a double play, maybe cause a bad throw, and get a gift run out of it.
The 2-0 to Xander, and he foul tips it.
Looks like Xander was going for the long ball there on the 2-0 count.
Last night the Red Sox had a golden chance, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. It was on that play where Benintendi sprained his knee when he was caught too far away from second base. Red Sox wound up not scoring in that inning. 3-1 on Xander. One more like that and they'll all be loaded up for the man on deck, Mookie Betts. But a good count for Bogaerts. 15 homers, 71 runs batted in for Xander. And he fouls it away to make it 3-2. So a must for Xander to at the very least try to advance somebody here. Thinking about driving in the first run of the ball game, which would give him 72 RBIs. Holiday is that runner at second base, Pedroia at first. And Odorizzi with a 3-2. And he walks him. So the bases are all filled up with nobody out for the Red Sox.
He tries to change up that time on the 3-2 count, and really not even close, not tempting at all for Bogaerts. That's a pitch that would fool you on a 3-2 count. But the fact is, you didn't get it close enough to the strikeout, to the strike zone, rather than fool anybody.
So a golden opportunity for the Red Sox to get on the scoreboard with Mookie Betts climbing in. He has struck out and flied out. Sitting at 90 RBIs. And he has Holiday at third, Pedroia at second, Bogaerts now at first. Red Sox trying to bust through. Fly ball into left field. Mata coming on. He'll make the play. Holiday tagging up. trying to score, and he will as the throw is cut, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0. 91 RBIs for Mookie Betts as he drives in the first run of the game.
Well, you got something out of it. I mean, bases loaded. You're trying to get obviously a base hit or maybe more, but at least if you're going to make it out, get a run home. The Red Sox take the 1-0 lead as Betts picks up his 91st RBI. Like a slider that time, and he had to reach out to the outside part of the plate. Not a very good throw here at all by Matuk, way off line. And there you see the pitch that Betts hit. That ball breaking away to the outside part of the plate, still able to hook it.
Next in, Hanley Ramirez. He has grounded out twice to short and to third. Pedroia at second base. And Bogarts at first with one gone and a run in. And a strike to Hanley.
Same job for Bogarts at first base. Any ground ball, you got to get right down there on top of the second baseman or shortstop to try to break up a double play. Hopefully draw a bad throw and get a run home.
Finally a run up there here in the 6th inning. Hanley's 1 for 9 in the series. That one almost got away from Mahle. On a cutter down into the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sox have won 10 of their last 13. Right now in a first place tie with Toronto. Blue Jays play tonight. And the Orioles 1 game behind. Odorizzi with a 1-1. That was a swing. That was a swing and a half.
Yeah, couldn't catch up to the high fastball that time on the 1-1 count. Elevates, go to the top of the strike zone, and underneath is Hanley.
Odorizzi gets a lot of swings and misses right there at the top of the strike zone, and it's only about 93. Not like he's throwing 98. But he gets the swing and miss. Here comes the 1-2. They tried it again, but a little too high there to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think we touched on that a little bit earlier in the ball game. He's sneaky quick, is what hitters like to call him. The velocity doesn't seem to be all that much, but seems to get on the hitters in a very quick fashion.
Mookie Betts with the RBI to put the Sox in front. Now Hanley Ramirez looking for some more. Here's the 2-2. Wouldn't chase again, and it's 3-2 with Jackie Bradley on deck.
Kept trying that high fastball, keeps trying it.
Now will he come in with something that Hanley can get a hold of? He has 16 home runs, 77 RBIs. Red Sox in front 1-0. Runners lead at first and second, and they take off, and the pitch is outside, so it doesn't matter what happens at third because that is ball 4.
Wow.
And the bases are all loaded up once again for Jackie Bradley.
I don't know about you, but for me, that looked like a good pitch to Hanley Ramirez on the outside part of the plate. Let's take another look.
Oof.
Very, very close, and I think the Red Sox are very fortunate right there to get away with one, because that would have been a strike him out, throw him out at third base.
Odorizzi is steaming, and that's the biggest reason that Hickey's out there.
Trying to calm him down, yeah. Big situation still coming up for the Red Sox. Bases loaded situation where they could break the ball game open, and trying to calm down his pitcher a little bit. I don't blame him for being ticked off. That was a good pitch.
Sure was. Could have gone either way. Went the Red Sox way, and the bases are jammed for the second time in this inning. And a little conversation there with Conroy as well, listening in. Take another look at that oh so close ball 4.
Yeah, that's one that certainly could have gone either way, and you wonder, you know, if the catcher may have caused that by coming up throwing because the runners were off.
Right. Odorizzi's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. He's now walked 2 men in this inning. Jackie Bradley has singled and popped up to third. He is 1 for 2, 1 away. And a ground ball to second baseman. Forsythe to Duffy. That's one on to first, and they turn to double play to retire the side. The Red Sox continue to be just awful with runners at every base, but they do get one in, and it's 1-0 Boston in the middle of the 6th. And the rest of America run on Dunkin'. Dunkin's iced coffee, consistently smooth and delicious. Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. On to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Red Sox do get one, but also Jackie Bradley hit into that double play with one out and the bases loaded. And the Red Sox have just had a devil of a time all season long with the bases loaded.
Yeah, that time Jackie trying to pull a changeup, and the result, the double play, the end of the big inning, or the possibility of a big inning.
Kiermaier, the leadoff man, swings and misses. Down he goes for strike 3, and that is strikeout number 10 for Pomerantz, and that ties his season high.
That's the second time that he has got Kiermaier with fastballs today for strikeouts. That time on the inside part of the plate. He's basically stayed away from him with fastballs. That time he comes inside and still gets the strikeout.
And also ties his career high. So he has been outstanding today. And here's Longoria. He has walked and flied to center. And he's the only man that Pomerantz has walked today. 1-0 Boston here in the 6th. And 30 home runs for Longoria as he slices a foul out of play to make it 1-1. You can follow the Red Sox and everybody else with the MLB.com and BAT app. Stay up to the moment with game day, live game video, and more. Download MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. That one shot into left field deep. Young backing up, headed for the wall, and it is off the fence. Longoria wants 2. Here's the throw, and not in time as he hangs onto the bag with a double. And that one nearly got out.
And Longoria has been a very dangerous hitter against the Red Sox. Had that big home run and a curveball last night off Porcello. Goes off the wall here against Pomerantz. Fastball down to the outside part of the plate. He hooks it and hits it about 3/4 of the way up the wall. Good quick release getting the ball back in by Young, but no contest to get Longoria at second base.
He's had a big bounce back year. Last year, just 21 homers, 73 RBIs. Already 30 and 79 this season, and a lot of doubles. That's number 33. With a ground ball, and that'll get through for a base hit. Longoria, they're going to wave him in. Young will throw into second base, and a run scores to tie it up. An RBI single by Brad Miller, and this is a 1-1 game.
That was interesting because Longoria was actually heading back towards second base. He didn't want to have the shortstop make that play and be thrown out at third. So when he goes back to second base, because of where the ball's hit, you can see him go back there. And once it gets by Bogaerts, then he goes. And because of how far Young had to go, there's no chance to get him at home plate.
So 63 RBIs from Miller to bring in Longoria, who had just doubled. And Duffy the hitter now, and he's been perfect today. 2 for 2, a single and a double. You wonder about the shift there, and did it just cost the Red Sox a run? Would Bogaerts have had a chance in a normal defensive position at shortstop to make that play?
Yeah, but you're exactly right. They would have been. You can see how much they're pulled over right there, but that is not a complete shift that they have on right there. They're just playing him as a pull hitter. And the strange thing, he took a breaking ball and hit it that way.
1-0 to count on Duffy.
And most of the time on a curveball like that, the left-hander will pull the ball. Instead, that time he took it to the opposite field.
You know, they have the spray charts, where a hitter hits in certain counts, where he likes to go, where hits have gone so far this season. That's the reason for all that shifting, obviously. I think we all understand where it comes from, but the 1-0 pitch is fouled back. But how many times, if you just left the shortstop where he was, would he have made the play and gotten an out and maybe even a double play?
Now, one thing I don't like and I've never liked is I don't like the shift when there's a man in scoring position. I mean, I can understand playing a guy to pull, which the Red Sox were doing at that particular time. The complete shift with men in scoring position, I just don't like it. Leaves up too much open territory.
Miller on at first base, 1 away. We're tied up 1-1 in the bottom half of the 6th. And that'll be downstairs on Duffy. So far today, he has had Pomerantz's number. Corey Dickerson up next. Tampa Bay now ahead in hits 5-4. And a 2-1. To the right side, Pedroia. He'll go into second and get the out there. No relay throw to first base, so Duffy becomes the runner at first with 2 down, and time for a game break now, brought to you by George's the Furniture Store, the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. Tom, thank you very much. They're going for their 4th consecutive win, those Tigers. Here's Dickerson. He has struck out and flied out. 2 away, a man on, and a run in as Tampa Bay has tied it. The next strikeout for Pomerantz would become a new career high for him. It would be number 11. We go to the 7th inning. It'll be Young, Hill, and Shaw for Boston. And a left-hander with the 0-1. These are the kind of games the Red Sox and Tampa Bay play routinely, and it's been going on for years and years.
Yeah, Tampa Bay plays a lot of games like this because their offense is not great and their pitching is pretty good, so they find themselves in a lot of low-scoring ball games.
The 1-1. Pinned it in there at 90. 1-2. So Pomerantz eyeing his 11th K. He had 2 last inning. He has 1 so far here in the 6th. Long look in, gets a sign from Holiday. Runner goes. And is swung on and missed. He got him, strike 3, and there's number 11, a new career high. But he also gives up a run, and we are tied going to the 7th. Southwest Airlines transparency. Low fares and nothing to hide. Red Sox won, Tampa Bay won. We go to the 7th inning. And Odorizzi back to work, facing off against Chris Young, who has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 2. Aaron Hill followed by Travis Shaw. Collectively, they are 0 for 6 against the right-hander today. Now, last inning, he ran into some trouble. Holiday single, Pedroia single, Bogarts walked. Red Sox got 1 run moments later on a sacrifice to left field by Mookie Betts. Then Hanley Ramirez reloaded the bases. The Red Sox for the year coming into today were hitting .218 with the bases loaded. That was 26th in the majors.
That's amazing for a team that's number 1 in the league in runs scored.
The 3-0. Call and strike. Jackie Bradley hit into the double play to end that threat.
Really hurts from in games like this too. I mean, you know, a base hit there, you got a 3-1 ball game. You could probably build on that.
3-1. That's in tight for ball 4. So the leadoff man is on for the 2nd inning in a row, courtesy of ball 4 here from Odorizzi. Tomorrow at 5:30, don't miss Friday Night Fenway, presented by Budweiser. John Farrell will join TC on the field for an exclusive interview. Be sure to visit the Lansdowne Pub through next Wednesday for a chance to be selected as Budweiser's fan of the game. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Well, the Sox beginning to put men on base against the righty, and here's Aaron Hill, who is flied out and lined out 0 for 2. There goes Young. Now he's halfway. The throw skipped, and now he's in a rundown. Miller giving chase, goes for the tag, and he gets him, and the Red Sox lose a base runner. Not exactly sure what was going on there.
Now, I don't know if there was a missed sign. You know, Young thinking there was a hitting run on him, because I doubt very much they would put the straight steal on with Young coming off a hamstring injury. And I got to believe that somebody missed a sign. Now, I don't know if it's Young that missed the hit and run sign or if it's the hitter that missed it. Because you see Young taking a look toward second base, back toward the hitter, which would indicate that the hit and run play was supposed to be on. So somebody missed a sign there.
The 1-0, and Hill will take a ball. If you had to guess, who do you think?
The way I'm looking at that, I think maybe Hill missed it.
Here's the 2-0 from Odorizzi. Popped up. First baseman there, Miller near the bag. Just like that, 2 away.
And you think about Young in a situation like that too, you may be better off just running to the second base bag and hope that you draw a bad throw, because once you get caught in a rundown, very seldom are you going to be not tagged out.
And the throw did bounce. He did skip it. Chatting with Torey Lovello here.
Now looking at that, maybe it was Chris Young that missed the sign, thinking the hit and run play was on, because Lovello talking to him.
Travis Shaw now, he has struck out and lined out 0 for 2. Tied up 1-1 in the 7th inning. And Tampa Bay catches a bit of a break, the 1-0. That's a bullet into right field. That's going to keep on rolling all the way up against the fence. Shaw heading into second base. He's going to get there with a stand-up double. And the Red Sox with their first extra base hit in this one.
Good job staying back on the changeup that time. The ball's down and away, and good discipline hitting right there by Travis Shaw. Once he knows it's going to go by Souza, he knows he's going to get into scoring position at second base.
Maybe a good sign for Travis, because even though he made an out in the 5th inning, hit it on the button at line drive to second.
Yeah, you keep the ball down to him, and he's got a good chance. If you elevate the fastball or any pitch up above the belt, then it becomes more of an issue for him.
So the Sox with a chance to regain the lead. Holiday, the number 9 man, has gone 1 for 2. He blooped a single in the 6th inning. This will be pitch number 91 from Odorizzi, and fouled away for a strike. And Dustin Pedroia on deck. Red Sox with a man at second and 2 gone here in the top half of the 7th. Getaway day. The Red Sox, that means oh so much, because it is the end of an 11-game road trip. in 4 cities. Fouled off again, 0-2. And we'll be back home at Fenway Park on Friday night. It's so nice to get home. Back to the Fens. It'll be Stephen Wright against Ian Kennedy tomorrow. Ian Kennedy of the Kansas City Royals. Just had a 9-game winning streak come to an end yesterday. Odorizzi with the 0-2. And he spoiled that one. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but he got some of it.
Outfield playing very shallow too, with Holiday at the plate, which would be very difficult for Shaw to score on a single, on a hard single. Two strikes though as a base runner. As soon as you see that bat start to go, that's when you take off. You see that swing start, you go. It helps you get a couple of extra steps.
For each team, just 1 run on 5 hits so far. Red Sox lost a base runner. It appears that Young missed the hit and run. Here comes the 0-2. Fouled away. We saw something there that was not there. He was lost on the bases to begin the inning. And then Hill with the pop-up, Shaw with the double. Holiday with an opportunity, but he's in the hole. 0-2. And that's in there for strike 3. Caught him looking, side retired, a man stranded at second. Tied up 1-1 at the Trop. By Ace Ticket. He's had an outstanding day with a career high 11 strikeouts. He has scattered 5 hits, just the 1 run. But the Red Sox have not scored today except for the 1 time. And we are tied up at 1 apiece. He'll get the bottom third of the order. Red Sox just had a runner at second base and a catcher, Holiday, up there. You wonder if John Farrell thought about batting Sandy Leon there. Decided not to do it. Holiday would strike out looking. Here comes pitch number 94 today. Taking on Souza, and that is high for a ball. Red Sox do have activity down the left field line of the bullpen. That is Matt Barnes getting loose. And fouled away as Souza goes down on a knee. Souza has struck out twice.
Both times on the curveball. He's had a problem with that curveball. Ramirez loosening up, starting to loosen up in the Tampa bullpen.
1-1 cut on and miss. That has been a dandy of a pitch all day for him, that curveball.
And especially against Souza. This is not one of his best ones, but still gets him to swing and miss.
There's a line drive the other way, and he drops in a base hit that gets the Betts on one hop. So Souza on for the first time. Time of the keep it moving moment now, brought to you by Old Dominion.
Well, we'll do the last 4 strikeouts for Pomerantz in this game. A breaking ball, another breaking ball for a strikeout. Then he goes the other way to the fastballs. Fastball by Kiermaier, fastball right here to Dickerson. So big strikeout afternoon for Pomerantz today.
Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. Nobody out, one on, tied up 1-1 in the 7th. He indicates a bunt and takes a strike. Montook has whiffed and flied out to left, and he's in an 0 for 34.
And that's why he's squaring the bunt, especially late here in the ball game, trying to get a man in scoring position.
Hill, the third baseman today. Shaw at first. He's holding the runner. And Pomerantz with an 0-1. Showing bunt again, but that's a ball.
When you're trying to sacrifice a man to second base, you try to bunt down the first base line. The reason for that is the third baseman can really charge hard. The first baseman has to kind of hang his territory down there to hold that runner on. So you got a better opportunity down the first base line to get a successful bunt down.
Hill creeping in at third base and a 1-1, not bunting this time. They sent the runner and a line shot toward the alley. Young tries to cut it, and he does. Here comes Souza rounding third, trying to score, and the throw is going to be way too late. Down to second base, Montook, who had been 0 for 34. They were thinking about bunting him, but he drives in the go-ahead run.
How many times, Dave, you hear me talk about guys that are struggling and putting the hit and run play on? What it does, it makes them concentrate more on just making contact. And that time he gets the breaking ball, looks like a high curveball from Pomerantz, and just gets Young in a position where he's got no opportunity to throw him out of the plate. So they go from the sacrifice to the hit and run, and that pays off.
And makes it 2-1 Tampa Bay, and the day is done for Pomerantz. Comes out after 100 pitches and leaves behind a runner at second base, and a 2-1 Tampa Bay lead. Barnes is coming on to call to the bullpen, brought to you by Kia, and we'll have more in just a moment. By Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. Red Sox chairman Tom Werner will join TC live on the field at Fenway Park. Pomerantz with an outstanding day, but he could wind up losing this thing. Despite the 11 strikeouts, gives up 7 hits, the last 2 combining to put him behind, and nobody out as Barnes takes over to face Luke Maile, the young catcher, who's gone 1 for 2. Runner at second base.
Let's see how they play this. See if they try to sacrifice him to third base. There's nobody out in the inning.
He's He's squaring, and I think that was the idea. Barnes wanted to see if that play was on, and he just found out it was.
Yeah, the question was he deking him on it? He turned around awfully early. Shore it very close at first base.
Now he's charging in from first base. Bailey is squaring and pops up the bunt foul for strike.
Now see, just the opposite here. What you want to do here with a man at second base is bunt the ball hard to third base and pull the third baseman off the bag, so it leaves it vacant for that runner to get in there. See that kind of side saddle position for Hill as he goes in. The reason for that is, so he can charge if he has to on a bunt. But if there's a miss, a bunt attempt and a miss, he can get back to the bag.
Shaw again coming in. Bailey again squaring, and he drops it down. The pitcher will have it. Runner down to third. Out at first base. And Matuk advancing. So they play it that way. The sacrifice has a man 90 feet away.
Now you got to think about anything. I mean, what they're doing this inning, they're sacrificing, they're hitting run. Will they put a squeeze play on? That's a possibility. Pretty good job right there. Not a great bunt, but it's effective. It gets it back to the pitcher. He had no other play but to go to first base. Red Sox have to pull the infield in. They'll probably play contact with that runner at third base with the one out in the inning.
Forsythe, the hitter, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. That against Pomerantz. And Mott took the runner at third base. I mean, standing at third, he must feel like a man on the moon, because he had gone 0 for 34. Before that double, he hasn't gotten anywhere near third base in about a month. The 1-0. That misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Infield in tight for the Red Sox. 2-1 Tampa Bay. We're in the bottom half of the 7th. Sox will have the top of the order up in the 8th inning. Pedroia, Bogarts, and Betts. The 2-0. That's a strike. Rays have scored both of their runs in the last 2 innings. Brad Miller with an RBI double to chase in Longoria in the 6th. Mikey Matuk with a shocking base hit, a double actually, to drive in a run in this inning. 2-2.
Good fastball, 95 that time, up and away. And that's exactly what Barnes needs right here. He needs to strike out any kind of contact. They got a very good chance of scoring a run.
Robbie Ross Jr. loosening in the pen. The 2-2 to Forsythe. They appeal and no swing, says Nart.
How about the pitch, though? The pitch looked like it might have been right at the top of the strike zone.
That's what I was thinking. 96 miles an hour.
Take another look at that last pitch.
95 on the gun. The 3-2 pitch. And he gets him. Right back to number 1 to blow him away. And now the infield can go back to normal depth with 2 down. And a man at third for Tampa Bay. And it is the 12th time today that they have struck out.
And 3 times for Forsythe. He got him back in the 1st inning and the 5th, both on curveballs. This time Barnes throws a fastball by him. Now their infield can drop back with 2 outs. You got to deal with the speed of Kiermaier.
Yeah, I mean, he is 0 for 3 today with 2 punch outs. He's also grounded to first. Man who hit the ground ball up the first base line that ended so badly for the Red Sox last night in the 11th inning. And an ugly defeat. He is 2 for 3 against Barnes, however. 2 down, and here's the 1-0 pitch. So the Red Sox are going to have to come from behind here today if if they want to win this series and come home 8-3 on this road swing. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Popped him up. Bogarts with a play. Sander into left, and that'll do it. But Tampa Bay now out in front 2-1 as we go to the 8th. Value and convenience, and for every Red Sox home run this season, Speedway donates to Boston Children's Hospital. And in August, get 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Speedway when you make a qualifying $3 merchandise purchase. To the 8th inning, the Sox are down by a run, and Dustin Pedroia will lead it off against the new pitcher Erasmo Ramirez. So Odorizzi went the first 7, and he can pick off a win here today, and he would be 9-5 if he does on a last place team. But the Red Sox still have chances here, and Pedroia has gone 2 for 3 as he lays off a ball. A pair of singles for Dustin today. And it's Bogarts and Betts. Ortiz is available today to pinch hit. You would think Sandy Leon is too. Here's the 2-0. Cracked along the line, but foul. 2-1. Brian Butterfield with the play at third base. Man from Maine, of course, with great hands. That's ball 3.
All pitches have been very close from Ramirez, but none have gone in his direction.
Last 2 innings, the Red Sox have put the leadoff man on. And the 3-1 to Pedroia. He stings another one, a line shot into left field. Matook's way out there. Pedroia will be content with the single as the throw comes in. Good throw. And that's a 3-hit day for Dustin Pedroia, and very nearly a 4-hit day because the out was a liner to short.
Yeah, line drive to shortstop back in the first inning. Since then, 3 singles. Line shot going into left field, and very quickly. Nice job out there by Matook to cut the ball off, get it back in, and hold Pedroia to a single.
Xander Bogaerts will be next. He has popped up, flied out, and taken ball 4 today. Despite his recent hitting woes, he's still 3rd in the American League with 157 hits. At the Cancer Center at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, doctors and scientists are working together on therapies of the future today. From developing new treatments to delivering leading compassionate care. Learn more at bidmc.org/cancer center. Red Sox are down a run. And a ground ball to the shortstop. Duffy to Forsythe 1. They turn 2. That is the second double play the Sox have hit into in the last few innings.
Well, sometimes, you get yourself in a slump and you just don't have a good at bat. I mean, first pitch swinging that time for Bogaerts, and this is tailor-made. I mean, taking the shortstop right toward the second base bag. Nice easy flip, easy double play. 2 quick outs for Tampa Bay.
Xander is struggling in a big way, and here comes Mookie Betts, who's gone 0 for 2. He has driven in the only Red Sox run with a sacrifice in the 6th. And he pops it up back toward the dugout of the Rays and into the stands. They get Romero and Sturdivant throwing in their pen, the lefty and the righty. Ziegler has been warming in the Red Sox pen. Tampa Bay up 2-1 in the 8th. And the 0-1. That one pulled down the line. That's a fair ball. That'll bounce against the fence. Matuk firing. Mookie diving. And he's out at second. Matuk with a tremendous throw from deep left field to cut him down, trying to make it a double. And the Red Sox get 2 hits in the inning and have nothing to show for it.
Take another look at the head first slide. Does the hand get in or the tag first? Looks like the tag was first.
And the Red Sox will not challenge. Betts is out. 2-1 Tampa Bay, middle of the 8th. Got a career high 11. As it stands right now, he will take the loss unless the Red Sox can rally here. Odorizzi went 7. Matuk not only with his first hit in 35 at bats, a terrific peg moments ago at second.
And if you're Mookie Betts, you take that chance because there's 2 outs and it's going to take a perfect throw to get you out. Well, what did Matuk do? Made a perfect throw. I mean, we saw that with Betts, throw out Kiermaier at third base in this series. We just saw it with Matuk throwing out Betts.
Ziegler on, a tap foul by Longoria underway here in the bottom of the 8th. Another look at that play.
If there's 1 out, that's probably not a good base running play. With 2 outs, you're trying to get in a scoring position. You take that opportunity, banking on the throw is going to be a little bit off target. Not the case.
Longoria doubled his last time up, and he scored a run that tied it. Then they went ahead in the 7th inning on the RBI double by Matuk. And it stands 2-1 Tampa Bay. here in the last half of the 8th inning. The 1-1. Now the Red Sox will have due up in the 9th inning. Ramirez, Bradley, and Young. As you look at the numbers on the Submariner with a .212 earned run average. Brad has made some big pitches for the Red Sox coming out of that bullpen. Last night, 2/3 scoreless innings with a strikeout. Stranded 2 inherited runners when he worked out of a bases loaded jam in the 8th inning. He's done that more than once. It was his 6th consecutive scoreless appearance. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. And there are a lot of teams that are going to have interest in him. Here comes the 3-2. And that one outside for ball 4. So he puts on Longoria, who reaches base for the 3rd time today. Tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. TC and Steve Lyons preview Stephen Wright's return to the rotation. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? So Longoria on in front of Miller, who drove in that run in the 6th inning with a base hit and tied the ball game. In there for a strike. Miller has been one of their really hot hitters since the All-Star break. The former Seattle Mariner. Quickly 0-2. The Red Sox do not win this ball game. They're going to go 7-4 on the road trip. And when you looked at this trip weeks ago, you would have taken 7-4. Probably very quickly, as that is outside. However, if you lose the last 2 and you wind up splitting with this Tampa Bay team, that leaves a bad taste.
That's a little bit of a disappointment because you won the first 2 games of the series. All you got to do is win 1 more and take the series 3 out of 4.
Still time to do something about it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Miller. He cuts and misses, and down he goes, strike 3.
Change up that time by Ziegler from down under. Pulls the string at about 76 miles an hour.
The 13th time the Red Sox have struck out the Rays today. 1-0 for Matt Duffy, who has singled and doubled. He's also hit into a fielder's choice.
Hit and run's always a possibility with Ziegler on the mound because he throws so many ground balls.
One man out. Bounding ball to Dustin Pedroia. Chance for 2. Bogarts guns and gets it. 4-6-3. Ziegler with the double play. And we go to the 9th inning. The Red Sox are down 2-1 at Tampa Bay. Billy and Jenny take you on a trip at the intersection of where sports and dining meet. Dining Playbook and Nesson, driven by your New England Chevy dealers. So we go to the 9th inning here at Tropicana Field. The Red Sox trail 2-1. And we'll bring up Hanley Ramirez, Jackie Bradley, and Chris Young, the scheduled hitters, against Tyler Sturdivant. They just brought him back up from the minor leagues today for the 3rd time this season. This is his first career save opportunity. Last time he pitched in the big leagues was July 6th. And he's no kid. He's 30 years old. He was 30 when he made his major league debut. And Hanley in. And cuts and misses for strike 1.
Starts him off with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Throws it by Hanley Ramirez on the outside part of the plate. And going by committee down there, they've got 2 guys loosening up in the bullpen.
So we'll see how deep Sturdivant goes in this one. 2-1 Tampa Bay in the 9th. Hanley's gone 0 for 2 with a couple of ground ball outs. He's also taken a walk. And he looks at a ball. Romero along with Farquhar working in their pen. Red Sox attempting a come from behind victory here on the last day of this arduous trip. Here's the 1-1. Foul back. So a ball and 2 strikes on Hanley, who has just 1 hit in this series. Sandy Leon on the bench today along with Big Papi.
I'd be surprised not to see Big Papi in this game in a 1-run ball game. Leave him on the bench.
Not yet moving around anywhere near that bat rack. Sturdivant with a 1-2 and popped up foul. That'll make the seats. Red Sox are coming home tonight and will open up a 6-game homestand, the first of 3 coming up with the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night at 7:10. Stephen Wright returning to the rotation with 13 wins. Here comes the 1-2 to Ramirez. Cut on and missed, and down he goes, strike 3. 1 away in the Red Sox 9th.
Yeah, back to the fastball. Started him with the fastball, finished him with a fastball. Both times at 91 miles an hour, 1 away, 1 inside.
Well, at times this road trip has been exhilarating, other times incredibly frustrating, like last night and that daytime loss in Detroit, and Red Sox dropping a game after just about 4 hours sleep. That was a game they probably should have put away. Last night the same thing, up 3-0 behind Porcello, lost on an error. There's some great high points in between. Maybe another one to come here today. In particular, that splendid play by Andrew Benintendi, his first major league home run as well. Cut on and missed by Jackie Bradley. But right now there are a lot of guys not swinging a bat, and Jackie's one of them.
Well, you knew coming into this series you were going to face decent pitching. It's one thing that the Tampa Bay Rays always have, is very decent pitching.
Bradley 1 for 3 today, hit into a bases loaded double play to end the 6th inning. And the 0-2 just a little high. Red Sox have continued to get outstanding starting pitching.
I would think you'd see David Ortiz for Young up next.
But Young is on deck. David just starting to move around in there. 1 away, bases empty. Here's the 1-2. And he got a piece. One ball and 2 strikes. And the day off so far for number 34. Going for the helmet. He homered here last night, his 30th. Tampa Bay in front 2-1 in the 9th. One man out. And a 1-2 pitch to Jackie Bradley.
Well, the question is, if Ortiz does come up to hit, who does he face? They've got a lefty loosening in the bullpen. And a pretty good chance they would make the move to the left-handed pitcher if David comes up to hit.
Yeah, that's what Cash is waiting on. And now Young has left the on-deck circle, and Big Poppy's coming out. And a cheer goes up by the Red Sox fans here today. 1-2. Made him dance. Jackie had to get out of the way. That one nearly got him.
Cut fastball that time. Almost got the foot of Jackie Bradley Jr.
He was fortunate not to get drilled there. Although the Sox would love a base runner. 2-2 coming. And in there for strike 3. Jackie Bradley caught looking. Sturdivant has retired the first 2 on strikes here in the 9th inning. And David Ortiz about to be announced. They have a left-hander ready. Here comes David. Here comes Cash. And Romero is going to be brought in here in a moment. Eddie Romero. With the bases empty and 2 down, and the Red Sox trailing 2-1. And they'll go for Romero. And we'll take the break as well. The Red Sox down 2-1, 2 down in the 9th inning here at Tropicana Field. David Ortiz called on to pinch hit. He'll bat for Young here with nobody on base and 2 down in the 9th inning. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Facing Romero, the left-hander. He's 1 for 3 against him with a single. And Romero has pitched well in this series. He retired his only batter yesterday. Struck out Jackie Bradley in the 8th. And he had a scoreless 8th on Monday. David last night, his 30th home run. He's driven in exactly 100 runs. Trying to save the Sox today. He takes high, ball 1. Back to his home run yesterday.
Yesterday, David getting a breaking ball early in the game. Right there, he was probably looking for the breaking ball and took it out of the ballpark for that home run.
The shift on. He wails away, but comes up empty with a big swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's got one thing on his mind right now. That's tying this ball game up. That time he got a cut fastball.
And a 1-1 from Romero. Popped him up, sky high, back toward the netting, but that's going to keep on cruising out of play. 1-2. David has an 11-game hitting streak on the line. He's had an exceptional trip, 16 for 35, 4 homers, 10 runs batted in. And he keep the Sox alive here in the 9th inning. Just got a piece of that one, a foul tip, and Mahle could not hold it, although he tried like heck.
Yeah, you could hear the tip, then you could hear it hit off the glove of Mahle. So 2 tips. One from the bat, one from the glove.
Two down and a 1-2 pitch. High and tight, knocks him down. That one's sailing all the way to the backstop. With a big fastball. And a wild one. 2-2.
Look out, David. That was a misfire. That was supposed to be away, that pitch. And right up under the chin of David Ortiz.
98 miles an hour. Aaron Hill on deck if Ortiz can reach.
Gonna try the breaking ball away after the pitch up and in.
2-2. In there for strike 3, and that will do it. The Red Sox fall here today by a final score of 2-1. Yet another 1-run game. The Red Sox played 6 of them on this road trip. They lost the last 2, and they wound up going 3-3 on those 1-run games, and 7-4 on the road trip. 2-1. Tampa Bay winds up with a split of the series. Red Sox finally coming home, but wind up losing the finale and losing the last 2 games against the Rays. TC?